hopefully we'll have Dr. Marvin on here shortly. I'm not exactly sure what's transpired for him tonight. I'm currently down in Richmond, Virginia. We're doing a call remotely. I happen to have the opportunity to be down here tonight with Geraldo Dorelli, the Eastern Regional Sales Manager for LifeVantage, who's out here doing an opportunity meeting, and also another corporate executive that's out here doing a meeting tonight, Bob Arban. He is the Chief Operating Officer of LifeVantage Corporation. They happen to be out here in the marketplace near where my wife and I live, so we came down for this meeting. In a few moments, I'm going to have both of them come on as little cameo appearances to be able to address everyone. And first of all, I've got the privilege of having Geraldo Dorelli standing here looking at me now and be able to bring him on the line for all the folks that are on there. And here's Geraldo.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Steve. Hey, everybody. I just want to take a couple minutes and, just share a few words with all of you. First of all, I just want to say thank you for all that you're doing out there in the field. I have the opportunity right now being in Virginia. We just got finished with an opportunity meeting here, and everyone's just super excited. And, what we have here at LifeVantage is something really special. And I'm just so happy I have the opportunity to be one of the messengers, one of the people that I guess to share this with the world. And I just wanted to express gratitude for what you're doing. And we really have something special. I look at it almost as we have the knowledge of protandim, and I feel it's almost the responsibility to go and share it with everybody we know. And the company's growing so fast and so much, and it's all because of your hard work, your sacrifices. And here at corporate, we hear the stories, we hear what you're doing, and I just want to express my gratitude to you. And feel free to get in touch with me. I'd love to get to know you if I don't know you. And I'm sure if you call the call center, they can point me in my direction. But I'd like to pass the time over to, I've actually been traveling with Bob Urban, our Chief Operating Officer, getting to know him more on a personal level, and a great guy, and I'd love to pass the phone over to him, and he'll share some words with all of you.
Thanks, Aldo. And thank you for having me. I don't know what else to say after that introduction. I just echo Geraldo's sentiments. I want to thank everybody for your hard work, your dedication, and being part of the LifeVantage family. You are with our future and making a difference for this company. And we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so very, very much for everything that you do.
Well, I'm going to do a little Q&A for just a moment since we have a few more minutes here, and I've got Bob within arm's reach, and that's really a rarity. So, as a company, we've gone through tremendous growth, and I know that it has to be hard on the corporate staff. So can you tell folks what it's been like, to do a little cameo, what it's like to try to facilitate and bring enough support behind all of these people that are out in the field and flooding in business and servicing it in a timely fashion? How do you do that, Bob?
Thanks, Stephen. A great question. With great people is that the easy answer to that, if you will, as far as that's concerned. But it's getting ahead of the curve. It's looking at where we are and where we're going, planning for the future, and building our infrastructure to go forward. And as Steve can tell you, one of the metaphors I use is that we are riding the bicycle as we're building it out there. So part of my answer is give us forgiveness and understanding, if you will. But we're moving towards getting ahead of the curve and having the infrastructure in place to support everybody who's out there and going to make a difference for our business.
That's a great thing about this company. We're out there in the field, and we can do this and be confident that the people that we bring into this are going to be serviced by good quality products, by a staff that answers quickly and promptly and professionally and gives great support. And all of us that have been around LifeVantage for a while and had an opportunity to attend public events and things like that, we see that as everyone's been available. And that's one of the real beauties of the company. But the thing that people see the most, Bob, is they'll call into customer service. How do you keep enough people in there in seats to be able to handle the calls that come in like this? Is it a real problem to try to recruit these people and get them all in there?
Another great question, Stephen. Thank you. Getting the right people in the company at the right time as we go forward. And that's not always an easy task to do. And we've had some speed bumps, there's no doubt about it. We've course corrected, if you will. But part of this is training. training everybody and making sure that the call center agents understand your business somewhat better than you know your business, if you will, go forward. So getting them to walk a mile in your shoes, understand what your business is, and be able to answer the questions that you have out in the field. That said, we've done a bunch of rearranging, if you will, quite a bit of rearranging within the call center. We put a hierarchy approach in place, so we're training subject matter experts in specific disciplines within the company as a whole, and then we're escalating calls to the individuals out there. So we're making some significant changes. We're continuing to add staff to this. We have staff in the U.S. and we have staff in Japan at this point in time, and we're looking forward to integrating those two groups so that we can service everybody 7x24.
Here's something that I'm thinking about that, about 5 weeks from now, we've got a whole bunch of people. The last number I heard was there's 3,200 people that are going to descend already registered onto Salt Lake City for the annual convention coming up on April 11th. Do you have any words that you want to do? Any sneak preview, Bob, or anything you want to say about this event coming? Because this is a big deal.
I'd like to sit here and just be silent. It just put me on the spot associated with the convention coming up. I just want to tease you at this point in time. The convention is our biggest event that we have in the year, and there are a lot of great things to look forward at the convention. I actually look forward to people's surprises and the discussions afterwards, and the gratitude that people have around the tools that we're putting in place and some of the changes that we're making in the company as we go forward. I think convention is going to just be a fantastic event for the LifeVantage family to get together, to look at what we've done in our successes, understand where we're going as a company, and be able to deliver on possible expectations that you will going forward here.
Well, that sounds great. I'll tell you, I know that a lot of us that are planning on being there, and if you're not planning on being there and you're on this call tonight and you're a part of the LifeVantage family, or if you're ready to come into the LifeVantage family, this is an event you really want to take. Drive a stake in the ground and come on out there and be a part of it. It's a 3-day event, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's little things that are planned for that go from 9 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. It's a packed schedule. And then there's some other things in store that happen on Wednesday even. And I'm going to grab a hold of Geraldo again for a moment. I know that a bunch of folks are trying to talk with Bob and so forth, so I'm going to have to release Bob because a bunch of folks are standing out here waiting, wanting to talk to him. But Geraldo, we were just talking about the convention coming up. I know a lot of people may not have seen the special initiative that's coming up on the Wednesday before convention. And I know you're the one that's tasked with bringing this about. So would you explain that to the folks that are on the call tonight?
For sure. Great question, Steve. I'm super excited for this event. We're actually going to be calling it the Congreso Latino. So I put a little Latin accent on that. So the Latin Congress, if we translate it. And what we're doing is on the Wednesday before, on April 10th, our Spanish market has been growing quite a bit in recent months. And we wanted to put an event there where we assure our Hispanic community and also, our United States, show that our Hispanic market is really growing. And so the task I have is putting together this Congreso Latino. What we're going to do is we're going to actually have corporate presenters and we'll have distributor presenters going and actually presenting and teaching the business specifically for the Latino market. Currently we have one Pro 7 that is Latino. Her name's Rosa out of Puerto Rico. And now we have several Pro 6s, Pro 5s that are going up the ranks. We want to show and the growth that we're having, number one, but also train our distributors on the Latin side of doing this business. And so all of you that are on the call, if you have any Spanish speakers that are getting involved in the business, let them know that there's this special event taking place at convention, the day before convention. We're not going to be charging anything additional as long as a person is registered for convention. So if someone is registered for convention, all they have to do is go online to lifevantage.com under the events page, and you'll see a little section there where it says Congreso Latino. You fill in your information real simple. You put your name, ID number, email, and the order number that you received when you registered for convention, and that's it, and you're registered. So we want to get as many people as we can out there, And so make sure to promote it to your Spanish-speaking distributors in your groups, and have them go on the Life Matters website for all the details on that event. So I'm super excited, and we'll have some exciting announcements there as well, and also at convention. So make sure to get yourself to convention as well. So.
Before I let you get away, sometimes I know that within our own marketplaces throughout the United States, there are sometimes some considerable population of the Spanish-speaking people, and there's a lot of opportunity to reach out there. And sometimes in the past, but since I have Geraldo here, I want to mention that we've got some Spanish tools, and we have some things that are there addressing that marketplace. Geraldo, do we have some things that you're gonna share with us out there when we get there in April?
That's actually a great question. This is something that's got me really excited. Up until now, I can say we haven't done the best job in having materials available in Spanish. We've had Japan and all these new markets coming up that we put a lot of focus there. But with the Spanish market growing so fast now, we want to make sure we have the support necessary for our distributors. And so my project number one I'm working on right now is putting together this event. My number two project is having new materials available for our Spanish distributors. So my goal is actually, and it looks like it's going to get accomplished, by this Latin event, by this Congreso Latino, we will have at the least a new starter kit for the Spanish distributors, and in addition to some extra brochures with, for example, canine health and other brochures. So at the least, we'll have a new starter kit. So pretty much what you receive in the Manage Pack today in the starter kit, or in the Manage Pack, that's what you're going to get that's what we'll have available in Spanish. So at least a starter kit in Spanish, and then in the coming months we'll have more and more materials. We'll have the Spanish Opportunity DVD as well, which we're really excited about. We're going to make sure to have more materials coming to the way of coming to the distributors in the Spanish market.
Oh, that's awesome news, Earl. I'm very thankful that we had a chance to bring you on the call tonight. There's a lot of folks on here that can reach out into that area, and that's very, very helpful. You know, folks, I have another little sneak opportunity, and here in the crowd tonight, I grabbed another leader in the company from our distributor side, and I've had the opportunity to work closely with her here in the marketplace of the DC area and so forth, and it's been just delightful. But she had a kind of a special announcement that I think she wanted to mention tonight. So let me pass the phone over to our Pro 8 leader, Kathleen O'Brien.
Hello, everyone. Oh my gosh, I wish you were all here in Richmond, Virginia. We have just had a phenomenal meeting with Geraldo and Bob Urban. This is the first opportunity that I've had to meet with Bob Urban, and let me tell you, we are in very safe and solid hands. But you know what? There are some other people out there who rate just as highly, who deserve my admiration and great, great, great respect. And one of those in particular is our own lovely Carolyn Clark. And I just wanted to break the news, if you haven't heard, that she made Pro 8 at the end of February. And of course, it was all with her team. They rallied. They all worked really, really hard to make it happen. And it was very fun to watch the numbers just absolutely click over as the last evening was turning, because everyone just loved Carolyn so much, and we wanted to make sure that she got there. So I just wanted to give a huge shout out to Carolyn. You know, this whole business is about finding and sponsoring people that you want to party with, that you want to love on, that you want to be with. And Carolyn totally epitomizes that, being the person that she is, the connector and the giver. And I just wanted to kind of jump on here and just give out my gratitude and love, and congratulations to you, Miss Carolyn. Take care.
Well, Carolyn, I think you're still on the call with us. Would you star 6 and then mute, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Carolyn, we've got you on the phone. Just a minute. There's a couple folks who want to hear your voice on mine, and we put it on speaker.
Well,
all right, Carolyn, we want to hear.
what an honor, what a surprise. I'm telling you, Kathleen nailed it when she said it is a team effort.
I went to my first corporate event in January, 2 years ago, January, and I remember Sherry Gillespie, Stu Brody, and Carrie Dickey were all on stage. I know Sherry was a 7. I think Stu was a 7. I'm not really sure the ranks, but I was so thrilled to have 3 of my personal business associates above me on stage, and to think that just 1 year later I was able to make what's called the rank of Pro 7 with 100,000 in volume, and then here just a year and a month later to be able to make Pro 8. But I've already said you can actually make Pro 5 if you're pretty lucky, but you can't really rank forward more than that without a team effort, and I'm so grateful for my team because they're all on fire, and for good reason. Carrie Dickey says we have the keys to the kingdom here, and Steve do. We have the keys. If somebody is willing to share and promote this video, and some will get it and some won't. And today, even though I'm a hairdresser, I was at my hairdresser's who's also in the business. She's Sandy Finsky underneath Dr. Marvin, and she was asking me again, we get a little down because our business isn't going as fast as we want, and I think everybody wants that. Everything has timing, just like it says in Ecclesiastes, and we can't make a season come faster or go by faster if it's too cold for us or too hot for us. And all I know is that I'm grateful for today, and I'm grateful this came into my life, and it's okay that I didn't even get it at first. That it's an antioxidant enzyme. I'm a hairdresser. I'm a grandma. I'm a wife, but I did get it, and I'm grateful. And I know how to play that video for somebody and how to connect them on the line with somebody else to help them get to a decision. Wholesaler or retailer, do they see themselves wanting to get weekly thank you checks? I'm grateful, and I have a big, grateful heart for everybody that's at that meeting tonight, because it's like an extended family, whether they're there or not. And you're talking about convention. I just want to say that this is not a raw meeting. I've been in other companies. This is not hype and sizzle. This is truly science. And my very first academy was Dr. McCord speaking about I never can say it correctly, but it's something like arteriosclerosis and the plaque in the arteries and all of this, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is really for real when I've got my hands on this time. And that's why it grows so quickly, because I've got a new doctor on our team that's just signed another cardiologist, an MD and a PA, and he can't even hardly sleep at night. He said, do you know what you have your hands on? And the more he reads and the more he learns, he said, everybody needs to know about this. So I think it is going to be a household name very soon, and I know it won't be long before we're in momentum, because it's crazy, the numbers every day and watching them. So thanks for letting me share.
Well, Carolyn, we are so proud to have you on the call tonight, and having heard the good news, it's really a thrill to have seen that. And Carolyn, you're still doing hair.
Well, I do a little bit out of my house. I have been retired. My last salon was a good 8 or 9 years ago. It was at a beautiful high-end assisted living. I love the elderly. It's not for everybody to do that type of hair, but it was my joy. And I was never intimidated with wheelchairs, walkers, oxygen machines. My grandma lived with us, and she had polio and arthritis growing up and in a wheelchair. So I loved when I was at the salon, but I also knew when it was time to step back. But when you've been a hairdresser 44 years, the people you've done for 30 and 35 don't want to hear that you're too busy for them. So I still do a little bit out of the house, but I don't ever promote trying to get new customers. And so I have, matter of fact, my hairdresser, Connie, that first heard about this 2 years and 4 months ago, who's never watched the video to this day, who will not get off this product, it's blessed her so much, just came in the business last week. So I'm happy, because now I can help her bring in what's called the residual, where she someday won't have to stand behind that chair at her age and try to make a living. It's nice to be able to have choices today. And so many people out there, whether, I don't care if you're in the medical field or what have you, if you don't go to work, you don't get paid. And a lot of times your staff doesn't get paid, depending on the type of work you do, if you don't go in for the day. But here with residual income, if you can find something that will bring value into someone's life, that has an incredible price point like this does, and if it's a category creator like this is, and if it has no competition like ours has no competition, nobody else has a Nerf too, and it's consumable. And if you've done your homework and realize that it's publicly traded, so we have to be squeaky clean. And you can, I mean, what companies out there are growing by 300% in these tough economic times? And then the fact that we've got people that can be on a complete disability check and can't show income, but yet they can get their product at a deep discounter for free. If that isn't a win-win, I don't know what is. So we've got everything. It's unique, it's consumable, great price point, it's going to bring value into your life, and we don't seem to lose customers. We may find people that buy into the business pack and then decide they're, that a new learning curve to be teachable and coachable isn't really important to them, so they choose not to engage, but we usually never lose a customer, and that's huge with retention with this company is huge. So we've got everything here, and I say that from the bottom of my heart, that if anybody's listening for the first time, this is the real deal. Usually it only comes around once or twice in a lifetime, and this is it. Believe me, this is it right now. And so I've heard Catch the Wave for 20 years, but this one is the wave, you guys. It really is.
Carolyn, let me ask you one question. How long has it been now that you've been in LifeVantage?
Well, in my first 12 months, I made Pro 7, and I've now been in 2 years and 4 months.
2 years and 4 months. So for the folks on the phone that are on the line with us, let me explain. Carolyn is saying that in 2 years and 4 months, she started a brand new business, already having a business, and has developed a over $200,000 a month volume in her group and built a huge team of people that span all over the United States, plus foreign countries. And do you have time to go shooting, Carolyn?
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes a little bit. Matter of fact, my husband asked if we were going to get this shoot the week after convention. I said, no, but let me tell you how it's going to work. Only because we have custody of a little 2-year-old granddaughter right now. I said, I fly on a Wednesday to Salt Lake. I come back on a Sunday. And if you want to shoot in Utah, you leave on a Wednesday and you come back on a Sunday. But you know what? There's no way I'm going to take this little angel out of her little preschool or disrupt her like that or take her to my sister's home that isn't baby proof. So for right now, we're doing a little shooting with each other, without each other. But we have a saying, just like when we were custom building our last home, this too shall pass, and it's not always going to be like this. So for right now, it's a blessing that we have her, but she's just a little angel. She's just a little over 2 years, and if all goes well, then she'll be reunited with her mommy and daddy in about 6 months. So we're praying for that, for what's called the unification, that they can all be back together again.
Oh, that's awesome, Carolyn.
Yeah, and someday we're going to shoot again, but you know what? Everything has a season, Stephen. It's like, so I give that up a little bit for when you're helping others reach their goals. And one of my first goals was to help, I know maybe it doesn't seem like very much, but I want to help at least 20 families make at least $5,000 a month, because I thought that was a nice number. What if it took about $2,200 to $2,500 a month to live on? That still gives you a nice chunk of change, another $2,500 for retirement or mission field or a nice RV travel, whatever you would want. I just thought that was a nice figure, and I could not believe within 9 months I had matched my husband's retirement income after leaving a county hospital after working 17 years as an engineer, and of course it's like 6 times that amount now. So all I can say is, and you've heard me say it, I sound like a broken record. The timing just is great right now for those that want to step out on faith and take a closer look at what we have. You can't get hurt here. The product's a win-win, and the compensation is just, it can almost make your eyes roll in your head. You get paid so many different ways, but I think it was Fred Davis, who's a Pro 8. I think he said, somebody said, well, how do you get paid with this? He goes, well, my upline says you get paid real well. So, I mean, you don't really need to know too much. The money will follow right behavior, and that's what I have found. If you lead with your heart, God's going to honor that, and people want to follow people that are contagious. And when you're having fun, other people want to have fun with you. And if it's not fun, then you shouldn't be doing this, because this is a blessing to be able to help somebody. This new doctor that we've come on board that's just having so much fun, he cannot believe the patients coming into his office that have been able to get off of inhalers and their insulin and different things like that. I mean, how gratifying is that for him to see these people that he's been their doctor for years just getting better on an all-natural supplement. And then Dr. Mark Gordon just said on that call the other night about this function he was at in Las Vegas, I believe with other cardiologists. And the professor or the doctor that was speaking said, well, he kept talking about Nerve 2, and Dr. Gordon couldn't contain himself. Finally, he let everybody know that there was an all-natural product. And the guy speaking said, then what is it? He said, well, it's called protandim from Life Vantage. And he said, oh, I think I've heard of that. And all these doctors came up afterwards and wanted information, and then the following day it was brought up again. So Mark Gordon was very happy about what had happened, with how it just came about in a setting that was so natural, and it just flowed, and now so many people want to know more about it, to put this into their daily practice to help people, before their surgeries or after or what have you. Exciting times, Steve.
That's exciting times.
And the canine product, the new canine product is just going to just be unbelievable. I mean, how do you tell a dog if it's a placebo? See, one of my first people that got blessed, she was out with rheumatoid arthritis, but she was more happy and excited over the dog that was on 3 pain meds a day, and within a matter of days was no longer had to be coaxed outside to go to the bathroom. It was running in the yard like a puppy, coming in the house, rolling on his back, having his tummy rubbed, and the dog ended up winning Best of Show at the Grand National Gordon Centers for 12-year-old dog. It still died a year later. This isn't Jesus in a bottle, but it gave that dog some quality of life, didn't it?
Yes, I want to point out to the folks on the call with us tonight a couple of things that I think you just heard that will explain to you the pathway to success. And what you hear in Carolyn, first of all, is passion. And she is passionate about her business venture. She is passionate about a product that is solid, that works, and there's no doubt about that. She's passionate about life, and she certainly keeps it very full. But besides that, Carolyn you heard her, and I salted in the question about her still continuing to work. She has a strong work ethic, and that's required if you want to succeed in a Life Vantage business. It's required in succeeding in anything in life. And then besides that, I think what you hear in her is a strong commitment to helping people. And when you use that as the basis, that's how 28 months later you can have a multi-million-dollar business and a significant income to go along with it. And I think that's power. Carolyn, I'm really, really thankful that you're on the call tonight. We were able to bring you in and have you share tonight along with the other guests that we were able to bring in with some cameo appearances.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a real treat. It's a real treat, and especially congratulations for that great accomplishment. And I know that 60-second grill to push it through was a big deal. So that's awesome, Carolyn.
Thank you. You're a sweetheart yourself, and I appreciate you allowing me to share, because it is an honor and a joy. We have our hands on something wonderful, and it's like you want to shout it from the rooftop. There was a gal just recently that was clinically depressed. I just met her at a premier school, and she was talking about she got blessed by something I had said. Well, she sent me her story, and I've never had depression. This woman used to make a couple $100,000 a year, had a great paying job, and this hit her, and it basically robbed her of her life, where she could never even go outside. She had that agoraphobia, or whatever it's called, and she didn't take the bottle after she looked at it, sat there for a month, and when the second bottle came, her husband encouraged her to just try it. I mean, it was her cousin that understood depression, and within 2 weeks, she said, it was like this cloud was lifted off of her. And the way she wrote this, it blessed my soul to think that you're an all-natural product that's in Nevada, but the tax is only $50 to the door. I mean, how sweet is that it could bless someone's life so much? Well, how do you keep someone quiet over something like that? I mean, you want to shout it from the rooftops, and it's exciting times, exciting. And how long have you been involved, Steve?
Well, Dr. Marvin called me up about just a little over a year and a half ago, and so we started our march down this path of learning and supporting and team building, and we had moved from the West Coast to the East Coast, and we're learning new people groups and new climate and so forth from a lifetime in California to moving to Virginia. But I'll tell you what, after 35 years of self-employment and owning our own businesses, and Martin and I owned a construction company for 20 years and owned personnel agency offices in California for 15 years. I've never had so much fun in my life, Carolyn.
Yep.
The aspect of having this business and being able to enjoy the freedoms of three specific things. There's some health freedom involved when you give your body an opportunity to take advantage of this product and function the way it was designed. That brings about another freedom in your health, and that is an important piece of life. The second comes in an income freedom that comes as you work the 2 to 5 year plan of building your business. Because people need to put this in the confines of this is a 2 to 5 year strategy. And if you look at it anything different than that, one of these days you'll look back when this $1 billion company surpasses, on its way upward beyond that, and you'll look and see people that you knew that are very financially stable and have a freedom from want and a freedom from limiting the kinds of things that they can do. And if that day were to come and you had left this opportunity instead of sticking with your original intention of pursuing your dream, it would not be a pleasant feeling to experience.
Right.
And the third, of course, is this opportunity brings time freedom. And it's freedom from traffic jams. It's freedom, for many families to be there when the kids come home from school. It's freedom for not just the wife to be there, but the husband also.
Right.
It's freedom to be able to go where you want to and not feel the limits that are put onto you because of financial constraints, because the opportunity is there by your efforts to build your income. It's not because maybe a boss said, well, okay, you've been doing a great job, you can have a 3% raise. Or maybe it's not that fear of, gee, the economy's changing, will my company survive this economic crisis? Now, all of those things are left in the dust, and this is freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great opportunity that comes on the business side of this company. The company has 4 wonderful products. A pill that works from the inside out, a cream that works from the outside in, a dog that makes the family pet happy, and a business opportunity.
Amen. I'm a Dave Ramsey, Larry Burkett, Susie Orman girl for quite some time now. I really believe we believe that debt is bondage, and it just is a terrible thing. And, Dave Ramsey says that we should try to avoid stuffitis at all costs, and it's an easy thing to get caught up in, so often people do that. And this has been such a blessing to not just be debt-free again, but to be able to have that extra income that you can bless others and not have it be a hardship. It's just been the most amazing thing because, God says to whomever much is given, much is expected. And if he can't trust you with a little, he probably won't ever trust you with a lot. So I feel like there's an obligation here, too, with not just my business, but also in being a good steward with what he does give me now and in the days ahead. Because my husband and I were talking the other day about what some of my friends that are making their pro-9s and 10s, and he said, that's just crazy, stupid money. I call it gangster money. And I said, well, nevertheless, it's true, and they've been involved 3.5 years. And so, you can call it silly, but the reality is with this company, it's there for those people who want it. I started just like everybody else, and I remember my first matching bonus check, generational, for the people that I personally enrolled, it was $5. Woo-hoo. And the following month, that was 15, so it tripled. And then the next month it was 35, and that one part is like $1,700 now. So they pay you so many different ways just for helping others, which isn't like that in the corporate world. So when we reach out and help others, we get less, and that's long before you're a Pro 7. So, what can I say? I'm so thrilled to have met you and the whole Dr. Marvin team. He knows that I've adopted him. He's my everything. He's there for everybody. I asked him to call somebody the other day, and I said, like, you don't know what to do 80 calls a day right now or something, but he seems to have time to always return those calls for people. So I'm sorry we didn't get to hear his little voice tonight, but it's fun to get to talk with you.
Yeah, he was unable to, he was going to try to see if there was a possibility he could get free and get on during part of the call, and we'll see if it actually happens tonight. I'm kind of a crazy one because we're expecting a snowstorm out here in Virginia that may have been on the news. You saw, some of the rest of the nation has been buried under a lot of it, but we have not. We're going to get some of that probably after midnight tonight. But we had the opportunity to come down to this corporate meeting that was being put on in Richmond, Virginia, which is about 2 hours from our home. But the beauty of it is this was kind of a fun night for everyone because I got to grab a hold of a number of different people, and we had these little cameo appearances by a variety of folks tonight. I thought it was really kind of a unique call and just a fun way to do it.
Well, thank you. I'm going to call it a night. I've got this little grandbaby out there being patient, waiting for me to come out of my office. So thank you once again, and see you in Salt Lake.
Okay, thanks, Carolyn.
Thank you. God bless.
Well, folks, I think it's, if you like, I think the phones are muted, but if you want to star 6, we'll open up the call tonight for general conversation and general questions. We don't have Dr. Marvin to get into any analysis of any kind of specific medical issues, but if you do have questions about the business side of things or like that, it's general. Let's take those calls and open up the line. If you want to just star 6, please give me your name and where you're from.
Joellen Farmer from Connecticut.
Yes, Carol, go ahead.
Joellen. I went to an ENT doctor today. I never go to a doctor. I'm a nurse. I've been healing myself with nutrition for years. Really haven't had too many issues, but I was really zonked with mold, and I discussed this before. And it majorly helped me with that and yeast. So I went to the doctor, and there's certain questions that they ask, and they want to know what you're taking, orally. So because I had wax in my ears from mold and exposure several times, so it was painful. So I put down protandim enzyme, and then how it helped me was my mold allergy from head to toe. And she was so amazed. She looked at that. She said, what is that? How did you learn about that? I said, well, I prayed to God. And I was thinking about my upline, even before I got in this business, about something else. And she called me and told me about the enzyme that day. I was praying to God. And he lined us up. And so when she said, seriously, how did you learn that? I said, that's exactly how it happened. And what I'm saying is that this is another field. We have serious mold out in the east and northeast. And it's something that people don't know or think about because maybe they haven't been attacked by it like myself, But she said, do not leave this office unless you give me that information. So I went to the girl at the desk and I said, I've been a nurse for many years, but I said, I'm into another business and I'm very proud about it. I'm excited. And I said, does this doctor have a dog or some kind of a pet? And she said, oh, absolutely. I said, well, I know she'll be really excited about that. And there were about 10 names up on the board for EENT. She said, well, the whole East Coast is up north here is just inundated with this. So I'm excited about that. I thought it would be helpful to other people to know about this.
Well, that's a good comment. I really appreciate hearing it. As a professional in the healthcare industry, especially with your background, you have a great opportunity to reach in and touch a lot of people's lives. So take your business to put it into high gear and go reach as many people as you can touch.
That's what I'm starting to do. Yeah. It's just exciting. It's very exciting.
Very good choice.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, is there someone else that'd like to ask any
I have
questions
a
today?
question. This is Grace from Connecticut.
Yes, Grace.
I enjoyed hearing Carol, and I came on late, and I was wondering if I could have her email or phone number, because I wanted to ask her more about the cardiologist, because we have one, and we've left him some literature on protandim. He was quite interested. We didn't take a bottle when we saw him, but I'd like to talk to her sometime and a little more.
Yeah, I don't know, Grace, if she is still on the line. She was leaving with her grandchild as she signed off on the call tonight. But the cardiologist she mentioned is probably Dr. Mark Gordon from, I believe, South Dakota.
Well, she signed this one up.
Okay, that one I'm not sure of. Trying to think of how you can reach her. I don't. If you want to drop me an email, I'm sure I can pass that information on for you.
Okay, can I have your email again, please?
Yeah, my email address is Steve, S-T-E-V-E, at Kelsay, which is K-E-L-S-A-Y .us. Steve at Kelsay.us.
Okay, I'll do that, because I missed some of what she was saying, but it was very moving and it was very helpful.
Yeah, she's an amazing leader, life manager. It's a privilege to know her. She is, just a dynamic lady. And normally I would be able to be a little more accommodating from the electronic standpoint, but I'm on the road as we speak right now, and we'll continue with the call as I head back up to the center part of Virginia.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, great. Anybody else with questions tonight?
Hi, Steve. This is Blaine Rich from Washington.
Yes, go ahead.
I had spoken to you here it's probably been a month ago now. I was the guy that had the PTSD, and I just took the one pill, and I was done. Anyway, there was, and I hope I'm not going about this wrong, but there was a lady that had come onto the phone on this call. She was, there's a horse, I guess, that is on the video. She's the owner. Because I had just got done speaking to 176 horse and cattlemen today about this supplement. And so I was wondering how I could find or get a hold of her. Or something.
Well, Blaine, if you would you shoot me an email and we'll make that connection? I'm pretty sure that I can reach. I can make that connection for you. Yes, this is Tony?
Steve, this is Beth Morel. She actually lives here right in Myrtle, California. And this is Blaine, right?
Yes, ma'am. Blaine.
Blaine, please call me and I'll give you her information. My number is 530-526-1539.
Okay, I can do that. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. I want to talk to you, Blaine, so it's a two-way thing here, okay?
Sounds great. And everybody knows with the PTSD out there, I've been a month now off of it. I'll pop off the medication and only taking my one pill a day, and it absolutely is just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful for everybody out there.
Blaine, if you would, I've got a number of people I'd like to connect you with, and I'd like to get in touch with me through email or whatever. That would be very helpful.
And that was Steve
at Kelsay, which is KELSAY.us.
Okay, I'm going to put that in my computer right now. Thank you so much, Steve.
Good. I'm glad we had you back on the call tonight, Blaine. We've been wanting to hear and support your story. I'm looking forward to having a chance to chat with you.
Yeah, I'll connect with you, so I appreciate it.
Very good. Anything else, Blaine? Any other questions that you have today?
Has anybody had any luck with horses or cows on this?
I have not heard any stories with respect to cattle. There are a number of people who have experience with putting horses on protandim. I have had the experience and the pleasure of meeting another, at that time he was the Pro 5 leader at the Pro 5 summit of this corporate like management fund in Utah each year. And he was a veterinarian, and he was using it in his practice and treating racetrack horses and a lot of other high dollar horses throughout the United States. He does a lot of traveling. I know, and he has had experience with an improvement in Cushing's and a number of other things, but I don't know any studies or anything of that nature. But I've got some of my team out here in the East, Virginia, that have their horses on protandim. And so it's just a matter of time before we have some other anecdotal stories.
Well, cool. Maybe we can get some on some milk production for cattle from out here to everybody. So that's what I'm looking forward to also.
This is great.
It's great.
I think it was Ernie Yoder's call because there was a man named Joseph. He had given it to a cow and the cow got better. I forgot what the cow had, but he did mention that. His name was Joseph, the one who said it.
Okay. Did you say perhaps Ernie Yoder?
I think it was his call because he told and Joseph is the one who gave the experience about a cow getting better on protandim.
Oh, cool. That's great. That's wonderful to know. So Ernie Yoder, is that one of the distributors?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. That's it for me, but thank you, Steve. Thanks, everyone.
This is Dorinda. Was the last gentleman looking for a horse testimonial?
Yeah, I was actually looking for a testimonial on any kind of the horses or cattle. I'm from Washington, and I spoke with 176 of them today in a group. So they were just wanting to know if they could get people's phone numbers so they could personally talk to them. I don't own horses, but I know that people that do have spent thousands of dollars, on these animals.
Yes. Well, one of my distributors has a pony that is 25 years old, and they were going to put the pony down because the pony was getting colic on a regular basis and not feeling well and limping around. And so she decided she was going to put it down, and then she decided, well, you know what? I'll try it. I'll try giving the pony some protandim. So she did it. And after, I'm not sure the period of time, it was not real long, like some of us have to wait 120 days. It was nothing like that. And her pony went from being lethargic to being chipper and zipping around, and she hasn't ridden it for years, and she said, my goodness, her pony is actually getting back to the place where she feels like she would be comfortable riding it again, and it's no longer limping. She's very excited. So due to some of that, he has a veterinarian that actually became a distributor under her who actually prescribes, I guess that's not the best word, but recommends the protandim to many of the people who have horses in this area. We're in horse country. So it's been pretty neat. So if you want to know more information directly from them, I could probably help you connect with them.
Yeah, I'm sure. Would you also connect with me? My email, always after the call, I will receive a request from other people, and that's very helpful if you pass it on for us to connect together and even engage here.
Okay, so you were Steve. Were you at, I'm trying to remember, Kelsey.usa?
Steve at Kelsey, K-E-L-S-A-Y.
.us. Okay, got it.
Okay, we got some other questions tonight. Okay, we'll take anything in the line of business or business development, or if someone has a story they want to share about their experience with their business in life management. I think we'll try to keep a little bit of that focus tonight. Anybody want to share their story?
Hey, Katie, this is Isaac Benabram from Florida. How are you, Steve?
Good, Isaac.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'm extremely fired up about life balance in the business because, I used to work at a grocery store for a living and delivering pizza, and I never made more than $8 to $10 an hour. And I've been building my life balance business now for 6 months. And back in December, I had 52 new members. January, I had 80 new members. Last month, I had 155 new members in my business, and nearly half Pro 5 and almost hit Pro 6. So for those of you out there that are thinking, oh, can I do this? Can I do this? Well, look at me. I used to work in a grocery store making $7, $8 an hour, and now I'm double or triple my income that I made in the grocery store.
And how long of a period of time was that, I think, since you started?
Well, I actually put myself in the system in June, and then I started working the business in August.
Okay, so in about 6 months, you've developed a replacement income from where you were before.
Well, actually more than that, because I never really made more than whatever, $2,000 a month because, working, even if I work, work 60, 80 hours a week, you're still not, and plus you don't have the freedom. Like for me now, I'm building my business while I go outside in Florida, sitting next to a canal, and, and I buy my wonderful organic produce, and I enjoy life more, and I enjoy connecting with people more. And I still have that leverage of the income coming in, all because of people like Blaine, who you heard on the call, that I actually was fortunate enough to connect with his wife, and they bought a bottle of protandim, and that changed his life. And it's people like that and stories like that that totally fire me up to actually share this with more people. So, nice to, I enjoyed the call tonight as well. It was an amazing call, so thank you for putting it on.
Well, thanks for sharing your story. I think that's quite an encouragement to a lot of folks who don't realize that there is such potential, and it's out there for such a variety of people. It's there for all of us.
Correct. Absolutely. Now what I'm really excited about is also these canine health products because, I live in this complex where people have a whole bunch of dogs that they're walking. And I used to work at PetSmart, which is also like a pet store, if you will, where they sell like pet food and they do like dog training and all kinds of stuff. And I remember working there, they would always say, people love talking about their dogs. So you want to ask them about their dog. What's their name? How old are they? What do they love to do? And people will just open up to you right up and start telling you all kinds of stories about their animal. And that's a great segue into what, asking them if they know what oxidative stress is and kind of like give them a hint that oxidative stress is something that is lingering and is affecting all of us and our animals in a big way. So when I share that with people tonight, with a couple people, they were very open to learning more, and I got the information to go ahead and follow up and share some more information on how we can help the animal. Because this one lady was telling me, her dog has had cancer and he has stitches. When she ended up spending more on her dog than she spent on herself, she was telling me that herself. So just so you know, it's like a very easy way to really go and like, really kind of strike a conversation. When people walk their animal, and you can kind of like pay attention more on the animal, and that will open it right up for having a really great conversation. So that's a tip there.
That's a perfect lead-in. It's been said that in the United States we have 79 million dogs, and that puts almost, you can almost kind of figure that almost 1 in every 2 households has a dog. Something a little less than that, but still, it's a huge opener. And like you say, I think it's a good point. If you see someone with a dog, it's not hard to strike up a conversation. It's not hard to show yourself friendly. And people are open and oftentimes very open to talk about their experience with their pet.
Exactly, because they're so proud of their pets. It's like their children, So, Yeah, well, thank you for letting me share tonight, Steve, and everyone out there. Let's build a youth life managed business. It's a family, and I'm proud to be part of this company. So, thank you for letting me share.
Thanks, Isaac. Okay, do we have somebody else who'd like to share their story or ask some
I have a question for Isaac.
Go ahead, yes. Oh.
Hey, Isaac, how were you approached when you were working your job? Who approached you, and how did it go?
May I ask who am I speaking with?
This is Steve from Michigan.
Oh, okay. Well, in terms of building the life managed business.
Well, how did you introduce to it? I mean, how was it a customer with you? And
That's a funny story. Well, actually, I was making phone calls. I've been in network marketing for quite some time, about 7 years. So that I have that side, but I wasn't really, and I've been, I never had the breakthrough that I'm having with life management and the sustainability and the success that I have here. But basically, back about 6 months ago, I actually was making phone calls to massage therapists because I started practicing cold calling, if you will. And so I called a gentleman by the name of Michael Epstein, and I was telling him about his product and I was the message. I wasn't the messenger like we are here with Life Management with the ABC video. So I ended up telling him about the product, and then he said, I'll take a look at yours, take a look at mine. So I said, okay, great. I'll look at it, And long story short, I looked at that video and my head started spinning, and I was like, is this real? And I ended up asking him a whole bunch of questions, and I said, I'll think about it for 2 hours. And I thought about it, and I came back to him, and I said, I'll tell you what, before I even get involved in this business, because I've been in network marketing for 7 years, I'm going to go ahead and make a list of 10 people that I personally know and just get their feedback. I'm not attached to doing it as a business, and I'm not attached to them doing it as a business or anything like that. I just want to get their opinion. So I made a list of 10 people. One of them was going to nursing school. Another that was a friend of mine that got me involved in a company before that I've tried to get involved in other opportunities for 6 years, and he never budged, or he never, reacted to anything. So anyways, I ended up sharing with 10 people, and all 10 people were intrigued. And a few of them got involved, wanted to get involved in the business right away and become customers right away. So that's kind of like, the rest is kind of like, it's kind of history. So that's how I got involved.
Very cool. Thank you.
Hey, do we have questions? Do we have someone else that'd like to share a story or ask questions tonight? It starts to mute your phone.
This is Marlene from Pennsylvania.
That's Marlene.
I'm very new at the business, and I had approached a doctor that goes to the church that I go to, and as soon as he read on the newspaper that it is not evaluated by the FDA, he wouldn't even look at it any further. Could you help me with how I could have responded to that?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up. It shows you something that your doctor should have learned in medical school a long time ago. I could kind of in my mind hear Dr. Marvin echoing some statements that would come out. The FDA is only a government organization that is there to evaluate drugs. Back in 1993, thanks to Congressman Frank Wolf from Virginia, there was he and many at Orrin Hatch, there was a piece of legislation passed in the United States called the DSHEA Act, and it gave the citizens of the United States a right to choose vitamins and health supplements. And it's been the law of the land. The FDA can only evaluate a drug. Now, that means that to qualify for the rating of a drug in America, you must have what's called an LD50 rating. And their first stage of clinical trials on this new drug that you're trying to introduce in the marketplace, you take that product and you administer it to your laboratory animals, to a point where 50% of those animals die. At that point, that dosage is considered a lethal dose to the 50th percentile. In other words, an LD50 rating. Now, that's your first stage of clinical trials. Now, of course, you can back that drug dosage down to another level that would be therapeutic and have hopefully some benefit for human beings. But a drug must have toxicity. It must be toxic to be able to qualify as a drug. Now, if you took protandim and those 5 herbal ingredients that are the mixture that creates this marvelous supplement, the only way that you can get an LD50 rating would be to take and grind up enough of enough pills to create a powder to smother half of this animal. It's absolutely impossible because there's no toxicity to protandim. It's healthy. So there's no way Food and Drug Administration has any authority over protandim because of the DSHEA Act and the fact it's not a drug. Now, I wonder if your doctor would not consider going to an Indian restaurant that serves turmeric as part of the spices in his curry. I wonder if he would not consider having broccoli for dinner. It was, it is a healthy vegetable and it's not approved by the FDA. How about any of your vitamins, your multivitamins? They are not approved by the FDA. None of the supplements are approved by the FDA. So unfortunately, I think maybe the doctor that you're mentioning either missed that lecture on health, or perhaps his medical school didn't offer any instruction on herbs and their benefits to the human body.
Okay, thank you.
Now, it's a little lengthier, which you might want to tell him, but doctor, the FDA doesn't regulate supplements. They don't regulate vitamins. They don't regulate any kind of supplement. They only regulate drugs. The drugs must have toxicity. So that's the simple answer. But the other is, it always amazes me that, and I've heard that on a number of occasions.
Okay, thanks for your help.
You betcha. How about some other questions today? *6 unmuted if you have any questions or comments.
Hi, Steve. Denise in California.
Yes, Denise. Where are you in California?
Canyon Country. It's in Santa Clarita.
Santa Clarita. Okay. What's your question today, or do you have a story to share with us?
The study that just came out, canine study. So it seems a bit odd that they would release the study and not get the video. Any insight on that?
Well, what came out was a white paper. Now, a white paper is not a study that is probably being researched and prepared to be published in a journal. It's more of a paper delivered by the company explaining some of the test results and things like that from their perspective, but it is not a peer-reviewed document. Now, I believe that by the time we reach the convention on April 11th to the 14th out of Salt Lake City, I believe that there'll be a number of other tools that will be available at that time. I think there'll be probably some videos and things of that nature, or a video, something is going to be coming online. They really pushed to get this out in the marketplace, and it's been, accepted so well that it really put a strain on making sure they've got enough in stock, et cetera. So it's an awesome product. We're hearing some tremendous stories from the pet owners, and one of the things that always amazes me is that we don't get enough stories where someone takes a video before they start giving their pooch a protandim pill. We're not getting the befores and the afters. So if you have any of your friends that have an animal with some kind of an issue, ask them if they would take a video before and perhaps consider taking another one afterwards.
Okay. I was hoping they were not going to wait until convention, but I had a feeling that they were.
Well, I don't, I didn't, I did have an opportunity to spend a little bit of time with the COO tonight, but I never got an opportunity to ask that specific question. So I know that one thing they're not wanting to do is they're not trying to put things out until they've been properly prepared for profession and they're thorough. So that's, I know that's part of it. So,
yeah, I was hoping you opened up questions to him, but I know he was entertaining our other family. There's a networking event. They normally have us register in advance, but I see this time it is on the website under events, but it just indicates network marketing event for all distributors that have that will be attending. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do this time, because it's not like the bowling event that we had where you pre-register and gather your team. So I was hoping to ask him that question specifically, but I'll wait in anticipation.
Okay, that's really okay. That's all I can say. Okay, thanks for the comment. Anybody else tonight?
Hi, Steve. This is Karen from Pittsburgh.
Go ahead.
I have a question. Can I go back to the product itself for a minute? I didn't start taking the product like 3-4 days ago. And I don't have a stomach at all. And so I had trouble taking a capsule or a tablet. And I smash it all down to a powder. Is that going to be just as effective as if I took it as a tablet?
That will do fine. Another thing that you might want to consider instead of crushing the pill is just think, if you're taking the morning, for example, take an ounce or two of water and drop the pill an ounce or two of water the night before. I think it will dissolve in a short period of time, and then just make it as a liquid in the morning.
Okay.
Dr. Marvin has, on occasion, given protandim in a partial pill to as young as a 3-week-old infant, where there were some issues that it would benefit from having protandim. So there's no issue with changing the efficacy. You get a very effective delivery. You want to make sure, of course, when you're taking protandim, you consume it with some food.
Right.
That might be a little bit of fat, might be butter on your toast, raw almonds or something like that. But that will suffice.
And also, it's not encoded, is it?
No, it will drop, it will dissolve. It's got a little bit of a release agent on it that's not harmful, so that the pill doesn't get stuck in the mold.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. And
I'm sorry, I forgot my question.
One other thing, let me remind you, of course, taking the product right now, be sure that you're consuming 8-ounce glasses of water a day.
Well, I can't do that. I don't have the capacity to drink all that fluid.
Okay.
But Dr. Marvin did tell me I could drink other things during the day.
Yes.
It's not water.
Anything you can do to keep your consumption up is going to be beneficial for you.
Right. And also, I just had another question about if you take medication, I know it doesn't interfere with medication, but how far in advance do you take it before you take your medication? I mean, is that a problem? Like, you take it like half an hour at the same time, or?
No, there's no issue as long as if your stomach is able to accommodate the pills in whichever form you're taking them, then just go ahead. If there were something in the pills you're taking that the same ingredients that are in the protandim pill itself, then you should wait an hour before or an hour afterwards.
Okay, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, very good.
Steve?
Yes.
This is Ella in New Hampshire.
Yes.
I have a request.
Okay.
I'm wondering if the information that you relayed about the FDA and how they go about finding out whether a drug is going to have an action on the body so that they can, work with it as a drug, and that whole line of inquiry. Could that be posted on Doc Marvin's website so that people could have reference to that? Because it's really important information.
Okay, I'll ask Doc about if he'll write up a short article and what about getting it posted up there. That's a good one. That's a good idea. I think that's a good idea.
And also, another reason, because we periodically, people in the legislature, the Congress, put up this Codex Act to be voted on. And my understanding of that whole issue is that that's a real press by the drug companies to get all of the supplements to be considered a drug. So you have to have a prescription in order to take them. And I think it's important for us as citizens to realize that, because the only reason that hasn't passed, is my understanding, I've been in network marketing companies with supplements for several years, is that so many people write in and say that the Congress isn't able to pass it, but the bill keeps on coming up.
Do you know, Manon, if that bill is circulating coming again before Congress in this session?
I don't know about this session, but I know recently it was, and I believe it's Senator McCain who's often put the name put with one of the people that is pushing for it. I'm quite sure it was he. But there is information on the computer online about the codex and all of that, and I've written in several times, added my name to the list to say, let's not pass it.
Okay, if you do hear something that you shoot me a note on, and please send me an email and remind me about our conversation tonight, because I've got a long drive ahead of me tonight, and I'm not.
I will do that.
Write things down. I appreciate it. Thank you, Manon.
I will do that and drive safely. And this was an awesome call tonight, and I'm so glad to hear Carol and Clark again. I had just been listening the last 2 days to her Pro Audio CD, and she is just absolutely delightful. I am so looking forward to meeting her in Utah. She is gem. Yes, she is.
She is. You have given it a nail on the head. That's a perfect example. Thank you.
Thank you so much for what you're doing, and drive safely.
Oh, I'm doing it. Okay, we got some other questions here as we're kind of getting to the bottom of our call tonight.
Oh, this is Grace again. How would you spell Carolyn's last name?
It's Clark. C-L-A-R.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Carolyn Clark. Okay?
Steve, this is Dorinda. And my question for the listeners tonight is, has anyone gone to their veterinarian? And if so, have they had success? And how did they present canine products to their veterinarian?
Well, that's a good call. Where are you from?
I'm from Western New York. I'm from a little town called York, New York.
Yep. Okay. I've known a couple of the members of my team out here in Virginia, for example, have presented to a couple of different veterinarian offices, and in both cases, they went and started with the same introduction, telling the story with the ABC primetime investigative report. Of course, because that explains the physiology of what happens to the protandim in the body of any mammal.
Oh, okay.
That's the key. Whether it's a horse, a dog, a cat, or even the other night when we were looking up oxidative stress and ostrich, it still came up with two reports. And we found some crazy animals, but you'll find all of them have oxidative stress. Because in every mammal, the cells are burning fuel to create energy to run. And as the engines inside of the cell are burning the fuel, they are creating the byproducts of combustion which includes the free radicals. So they can all use protandim. I don't think that a snake doesn't qualify.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions today? All right, folks, I think we're going to wrap it up a little bit earlier than we do some nights and call it a wrap. I want to get we're getting a good rainstorm. This break is going to develop here shortly into a snowstorm in this part of the East Coast. But I want to thank all of you for joining us, and especially, all of the guests that we were able to bring on tonight. That was just a real treat, kind of an unusual set of circumstances. But thank all of you for being here, and let me remind everyone that protandim is not intended to heal, cure, mitigate, or prevent any disease according to the Food and Drug Administration. But of course, we do know that protandim will reduce oxidative stress to an average of 40% in 30 days in all people. So, welcome everyone that is registered. I'm looking to see, and Dr. Marvin will be also, all of you out at the